What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show for dads, fathers, and male caregivers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team, we've reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And as always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And, I have to do something. I have to do something before what happens. Ryan Knight is here for the full show again. So I don't think he's here yet. But when Food Plane comes in, I'm going to tell him that. So,
yes.
What's up, Ryan?
Hey, things are good. Always good to see you. For those that are getting used to Ryan being engaged and don't remember who I am, or maybe it's your first time checking out the show, my name is Ryan Knight, one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network, and also the founder of Detailing Nights, a mobile waterless car cleaning service that comes to your house or to your office, cleans your car on the spot without using water, and our plant-based eco-friendly cleaning supplies. We are excited to announce we're actually doing a partnership with one of the parking garages downtown Toronto.
Oh!
If you know of The Well, we've been working with them to have a parking space down there, which used to be the Globe and Mail building, I believe, and now it's like a pretty cool building. It used to be just a parking lot, actually, if people remember the $5 parking that used to be at Spadina.
Hold on, how much?
$5 at
When was
Spadina
that?
in front. That was the secret spot, and then you'd walk all the way down to Skydome or Rogers Center. So we're working there. And yeah, our student program that we've been doing, the Youth Entrepreneurship Program, final training is today and tomorrow. And then we have an event on Sunday. So for those that are in Ajax or willing to drive out to Ajax,
willing.
Yeah.
No, well, Ajax isn't bad. I think it's getting out of downtown to Ajax, or if you're coming from the Northwest Territories, aka Brampton, or the West Coast, Mississauga, coming across the 401.
That's why the 407's got to be your friend, man. The 401 can be hit or miss.
Well,
and mostly
well, if you're a business owner, the 407's your friend.
Yes,
but if you're not a business owner, you know what's good? I just want to chat. Will we ever see the day that the 407 becomes free?
I don't. It would defeat the purpose, because that's what keeps it clear. I think if it just becomes free, it's going to become another 401 unless they create another alternative location, or this tunnel under the 401 gets built.
Oh my gosh. Did you hear the premier the other day? He says they're looking at 3 tunnels across the 401. Who's paying for this?
That would be, you'd have to be in power for like 100 years to get, because the next government that comes in is going to kill that so quick. We're like, nah, we're not digging under the 401. You might as well put a bridge above the 401, and just like building above it would be cheaper than trying to drill underneath the entire 401. But and sorry, I was saying the event on Sunday is in a car wash fundraiser for the Durham Community Action Group. So shout out to Gloria and Sandra. So we're going to be at the location, which is we're renting an office space there now. So in Ajax, that's our east location. And in the parking lot, we're going to be doing the car wash fundraiser to raise some money for their food bank, because they have quite an excellent food bank at that location. So also, if you know people that need some food, send them on Sunday. Well, any day during the week, or I think they have specific days, but yeah, they have a great food bank there.
I love the hook that you put in there, because it's relevant to the conversation we're going to go a deep dive into in a few moments. What's been going on since we last saw each other?
Yeah, doing the training each evening. We've been working with the young entrepreneurs to pull out that they have the potential to start a business. It's amazing seeing them show up, because there's one of our slides that I created that talks about going from the comfort zone through the fear zone into the learning zone, and then that's where you get into the growth zone. So the fear zone is where you create all those excuses that keep you from going into the learning zone and growing, because it makes you retreat back to the comfort zone. So the fact that they show up and they're engaged, and we've had some great speakers like our business coach Naomi, Chris Beth, the marketing guru or marketing diva, not diva is not good. Yeah, marketing experts, and also who's the other speaker? Oh, Charmaine. Yes, Charmaine Hussey. She led the networking event yesterday. So yeah,
First lady of ACBN.
So I loved it.
Yeah, good
Also,
stuff.
Melissa Cadigan, who's a franchise expert that's been helping me structure detailing nights with our franchising journey. She was one of our guest speakers during the week as well.
So a few things. Are you home this evening? And there's a reason why I'm asking.
Christian does have baseball, so but
Okay.
I'm home-ish. I
What
think that's
time?
like an
What time
hour.
do you get back from baseball?
I think that's 8.
If you're at home,
Hmm.
I'd love you to check out The Fixer.
Okay, which station is it on?
Do you get Fox?
Yes, I am
The
able
only
to.
reason I watch Fox is that reason.
And it's at what time? 8?
It goes from 8 till 10.
2 hours. Okay.
Yeah, so the first
That's
hour you look,
serious.
I really, if you get a chance, even when you watch a few minutes, I'd love to get your feedback when we come on Monday. But because I know, again, Marcus Simone. Now it's interesting because for those people who may or may not know, Marcus Simonis owns a company called Camping World, which is a big franchise thing for campers in the U.S. A few years ago, he started a program, a reality program, where he goes in and checks out entrepreneurs and see if he wants to work with them or not. And I remember Ryan, I introduced to Ryan, who says, I love this show. And it lasted a few years. Now, something interesting I found out, he got sued by a number of the businesses.
Wow, that's wild.
And it ended up between him, the production company, and CNBC was a broadcast. They shelled out about $11 million.
Wow, that'd be interesting to see
I'll
what they
send
sued
I'll send the
for.
story to you.
Yeah,
But he's
because
back on now, investing in businesses again. And I know you love the entrepreneurial thing, so definitely if you can get a
I'm
chance to
gonna
check
put
that
it in
out.
the PVR thing, so even if I miss it,
Yeah, if you
it's
can,
part of
I'd love to get your takes on it. So that's fantastic. And another, so I was doing some casual listening since I'm not 100%, so I'm not out and about. I'm not even out about that much, anyways. Do you? Here's an interesting fact: people may not realize 70% of the hotels in America are owned by an Indian family.
70%. That sounds astronomically high.
It's true though.
So it's like all the different brands, like it's kind of all owned under one thing.
I'm just gonna look. I was listening to someone yesterday talking about it. I'm gonna just see if I can go online and just give a little. And I found that phenomenal.
That is amazing. Yeah.
Uh, and the funny thing is, so one of the things that they did when they started out,
Hmm.
yeah, here we go, here we go, here we go. The company, the name of the company is called the Patel family.
Okay.
For decades, the name Patel has been synonymous with the American motel industry in cities along highways. So maybe it's motels from modest roadside inns to mid-tier hotels.
God,
So yeah, they own 70, let's say maybe 70% of the motels in all of America.
that's wow. Yeah, that's still quite amazing.
Like things like Motel 6.
Right, right, right. Yes.
So yeah, according to the Asian American Hotel Owners Association, nearly 70% of all Indian American owned hotels are owned by the Patels. It's estimated that over half the country's budget motels are run by Indian Americans.
Okay.
The
And you
vast
see they
majority of
have
whom trace their ancestry to the Gurjat.
an Indian American Hotel Ownership Association. There's also what was interesting that I found, um, a Korean Association of Convenience Store Owners. And so you might wonder why so many Koreans run convenience stores and corner shops, because when they move here, this association actually helps them get set up.
Yep.
So when you talk about economic empowerment, this is what we have to start looking at. How do we create these associations that help business owners either get into franchises or there's structure to how that happens. Like you don't just own 50% of motels or 70% by accident. Like it's actually structured and designed.
It's really interesting. And a little about their story. When they first started, they wouldn't hire people to work in the hotels.
Okay.
They did it themselves.
Wow.
Cut the cost. And what they would do is they wouldn't go out and live somewhere else. They would live in one of the rooms in the hotel.
Right. Humble beginnings, man.
Family economics.
Yes.
Family economics. I thought hearing that story, it was just like, I went, that's how we do it. And I actually heard an interesting quote the other day too. What do you think about this one? A gentleman who you and I know, I'm not going to pronounce his name out here, said, many black people are not broke, they're broken.
Okay, that sounds like something Dr. George Fraser would say.
Right? They are broke, but not broken. What do you think about that quote?
If we're talking about like the trauma that is keeping people from maybe achieving what they're capable of, I could see that resonating. But I would say broke and broken. Like a lot of people are struggling and there's no buffer. Either they're working check to check each week, or their business is just trying to survive each week. So you can call that broke. You can call it, is it we're broke because we're broken? But hey, we have to be able to break through and get some buffer, get some wins.
All right. So there are a whale of comments, but I'm not going to get to them after. We'll go to the break, and then we're going to go do homework. Then we're going to do comments because we're already running behind on comments. So, and by the way, Ryan's here for the whole show today. So
Yes.
You see, he's got a buffer though today because there's a guest. But all right, so let's go to break. When we come back for break, we'll do the housework, comments, then our special friend. So let's go to break. What is up, everybody? It is Dr. This is Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lalo.
It feels like every 10 years we find ourselves trying to venture into some kind of war.
He continues to get away with absolutely everything. And when that happens, that limits our power as well.
He shouldn't be able to do this without asking Congress.
I have to catch my breath.
All right. Primetime Saturday is going to be on tomorrow, as it is on every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Aisha K. Staggers, Laura Lala Key. Tomorrow we'll have a special guest replacing Aisha. Aisha has some family stuff to do. We have the one and only Dr. Tachi coming in tomorrow afternoon with us. So please check that out. All right. Absolutely. Big round of applause for Dr. Tachi. All right, let's get to some housework, then comments, then our friend. All right, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Substack. And just before we go further, if you haven't subscribed yet on YouTube, please tell someone to subscribe if they're up to it. If you haven't, subscribe, tell other people about it, thumbs up the conversations, etc., etc. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com or click on the link. Also, to advertise your business, service, or product on any of the platforms I'm on, email me. Then we have Indie Soup Media. Of course, Indie Soup Media. The driven by the one and only Dr. Tache. Tache instead of Target. Tache. Independent content creators platform on YouTube. probably about 18 months now. They're getting around 28,000. I have to give a more accurate number when we come back on Monday. I've got to represent Dr. Tachi properly. A lot of these conversations and a lot of conversations that I'm a part of are on that platform. Let's do comments. Then we're gonna get our friend. It's already a wild morning. So let's start off. Good morning. Minnie St. Clair says good morning. Good morning, JG Mars. Hope you're doing okay, JG Mars. I know you're doing better than your country. He lives in US. Minnie St. Clair says travel lodge. That makes sense. And Holiday Inn, talking about the Patel family. JG Mars. Indian people in the US have recently been moving up into trickling the freight industry. Well, they are up here already. If you see, if you come up to the Greater Toronto area, you look at a lot of the transport truck drivers, South Asian.
Okay.
South Asian. All right, Derek T. Tuggle, good to see you this morning. You're in early. I'm not surprised, but Office of Tim Frey's here. Good morning, Mr. Tim Frey. Hope you're doing all right. Minnie St. Clair says Indian family also started Chippendales. I didn't know that. Interesting.
Okay.
Minnie says, we don't heal, we push it done. Yeah, I somewhat agree with that, but the pushing is done with a lot of extra and unnecessary effort, and it wears on you.
Right.
Here we go. Derek says, Indians own most of the mom and pop and liquor stores in Chicago. What?
Okay.
They do own the shady motels here in Los Angeles.
Gotcha. Right.
All right. Frequency of Potion says, good day, vibe, and night.
Yes.
All right.
Let's use that hashtag, vibe and night.
All right. We are, okay, comments are done. Fantastic. Brian, I'm going to let you introduce our friend.
Absolutely. And it's with great honor because our guest today was actually one of the initial supporters at day one of ACBN, the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. So from 8 years ago, I had the pleasure of getting to meet Anick Silencieux at our event. And then during that time, learning about her passion to support other Black charities. And she actually created an entire organization called Supporting Black Charities that is, I would say, the node that connects a lot of the great work that these organizations are doing. And something that I mentioned earlier, these hotels, motels, Korean convenience stores, they all connect because of an association that was created. So I feel what Anick has built with Supporting Black Charities is that type of association that now connects all the great work that is going on in Black organizations and charities and nonprofits. All that to say, she's now taken on the daunting task of eliminating food insecurity in our communities and abroad or beyond. And so now this food security fund that is a part of their portfolio is what we wanted to talk to today. So we asked her, can you come on to talk about this? Because we saw City TV got access to an interview with our wonderful guest. So please join me in welcoming on the Morning Vibe, Anick Silencieux, the Executive Director of Supporting Black Communities.
What? I mean, have you ever had such a thorough introduction?
It's so touching to have Ryan do the introduction because it's going to be cliche what I say. There is no me without you. Like seriously, I know let's not get too far, but it's just to say that based on the very first meeting I went to at ACBN, I just got touched by that bug of creating something, and here I am 7, 8 years later almost, and I'm in it. I'm in it deep. I'm in the ring. I'm fighting food insecurity now. So it's been a great journey, and definitely Ryan, you should pat yourself on the back because you're part of the story. You're part of the story.
And I'm honored to be and proud of what you've done. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Before we get into our conversation, Nick, do you sleep?
Right.
Like I'm going, you're taking on this also?
Sleeping is a luxury today, but I enjoy it. The difference about the life that I live today is that it's really driven by passion. the life I used to live before, there was a little bit of stress and pressure. Now there's stress and pressure, but it's different. It's different. So this is closer to. I think I always say that my soul is singing when I'm doing this work. It's fulfilling. I get to speak to you two on a 9 a.m. on a Friday at my own time. So there are some perks to doing this, but I I do sleep less than before, but my day is filled with just doing wonderful work and meeting different people. So it's I don't complain anymore.
I love that. That's the first time I've been called a perk. I
Yes.
got, I got, I got, I gotta, I gotta put that. I gotta put that somewhere. I gotta make that a cut somewhere. All right. So, can you tell us about the origin story of the Food Security Fund? What caused its inspiration?
Yes, so there, like you see, that we have three partners, and we've always wanted to do something together. So I was with Charitable Impact in different initiatives before. They're an organization in out of Vancouver, similar to Canada Helps, but they do similar work. And I've been involved with them at different levels, and we had discussions where they are now doing cause funds. And the cause fund model is to now have support for just one cause instead of different nonprofits, instead of an organization. So when you support one cause that is attached to more than one organization, you get to have a bigger impact. So they started that model and kind of perfected it, where they pull support for one cause, and then they attach an expert in that field for that cause that leads the direction of where the funds are going. So I was really interested by that model. We had discussions when they wanted to do something for the Black community, but what? There's so many things that we could do, from housing to youth, education, health, and food insecurity. We thought food insecurity was, pardon the pun, the lowest hanging fruit, the easiest one to tackle. No red tape. You don't have to go to government. Maybe you need a few permits here and there, but it's just something that everybody knows. And then now also within my network, the third partner, 667 Group, they are in the food industry, and so it just made it easier. But once we decided to do it on food insecurity, we looked at the numbers. Numbers are alarming for the Black community. There's in Canada, there's only four cities in the last 12 months that have declared food insecurity as an emergency. We're talking Toronto, Toronto, Kingston, Mississauga, and Brockville. Within a span of 5 months, they all declared food insecurity emergency, all in Ontario. So in Canada, there is a focus on food insecurity, but when you look at the number, it's really Ontario. Everything is concentrated in Ontario, and when you dig deeper, you see how much the Black community is so affected by it. We're talking about almost 50%. For children, for example, that is the stat that really got us moving. Is out of all the kids that are food insecure in Ontario, 46% identify as Black. So for us to address food insecurity, we're automatically addressing our community. And I think when you think about it, you don't want kids to have to to be tired to go to school to learn. This is a crucial time in their lives. They should just be learning and having fun, not worry about if I'm eating and so on. And so this is something that said that stat is alarming. Why now? Is because it's food and the emergency is in Ontario. Why us? Because we're already in the business of helping the Black community through nonprofits and charities. So it just makes sense for us to be able to now address this. But because it's such a big issue, let's do it in a big way. So that's kind of the story of the Food Security Fund. It's just us coming together. We had a desire to do something meaningful and tangible for the Black community, and throughout our conversations, this is what came out of it. So this has been a year in the making, and as we've been in those discussions, the situation has just gotten worse. So today there's a lot more people that have joined the fight, and it's going to take a lot of people fighting at different angle, if I can say, some uppercuts, some jabs, but
Yes.
we're I'm more of a Muay Thai person, but
Yay.
we're in the fight. We're gonna fight for it, and it just it's exciting to be in the ring. Where I've learned so much more about food, about the situation, about the um, the people struggling, and knowing that our community is affected. It just makes sense for us to do something, and we're excited to launch it and to present it to people.
Love that. And I'm so curious because food insecurity is such a daunting topic. And I mean, people that are affected by it, a lot of times it comes with that stigma. You don't want people to know. So, food banks is one thing. But I'm curious now with creating a fund, where, like, what is that first step? Like, where do we start so that people can contextualize tackling this, because it can just be overwhelming. You're like, okay, man, people are struggling with food. What can we do? But you've now stepped into this area of creating the fund, not just a food bank. So I'm curious why the fund and what is that next step that people that we're doing.
Yes, and what's different, I know you mentioned food bank. What's a little bit different with this model is that the food security fund, and there's one way that I can explain it and people will know right away, especially people in Ontario.
Mm.
When I talk about the Princess Margaret Foundation, we all know that they have that lotto, they have cars, trips, lamps, car. I want a lamp one year, that's why I say lamp. But there's all
Oh,
these things that they do. They have gamified fundraising, and then the funds that they raise, they at the end of the year they give about 50% to Cancer Foundation. So this is the model that we're using, where the Food Security Fund is a fundraising vehicle, a fundraising campaign to raise funds to activate our plan. So we do have a plan. We have a 4-phase action plan to be able to address food security at different levels, at the distribution level, at the education level, and at the pipeline. So I know food banks, they help at front lines and really relief efforts. For us, we're not only looking at that, definitely distribution meal prep, that is part of it. What we're looking at as well is the long term aspect to really get at the root cause of this issue. And with the food cause, the very first thing we're going to need to do, and based on the surveys that we've done, and not surveys, but real discussions, we know that organizations that have food programs, they need storage. That's been the number one thing. People, Walmart, Loblaws, they all want to give them 40 pounds of potatoes. They have no place to put it.
right.
So the very first thing that we're looking at is to create the structure, the infrastructure of a food system. And the infrastructure, we need storage and compliant temperature control storage that
Mm.
will be able to support the different food programs that are with Black serving organizations and community hubs. So that is the idea, is to create something long-standing, not just distribution meals on front lines, but really create something that's sustainable. And it all starts with a storage location to be able to receive those donations. That's the
Magic.
number one challenge that most of Black serving organizations that are working with food programs are experiencing today. So this is where we're starting. So
Sure.
at the start of the fundraising campaign,
Right.
donations are vital to be able to fund that part of the action plan.
Storage is so important. I remember working with Mosaic and they got a shipment of milk, like 2 crates, and didn't have enough fridges. So we had to deliver them all like that night or the next day. And it was like madness. But yeah, storage, because people want to donate, but if you can't even take it, you're stuck. So that's a great place to start.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just want to jump in here with some comments. Frequency of event promotions has vibe and night. He loves that. I guess we have to use that hashtag more often.
Yes, yes.
Vibe and night hashtag. All right. Also, he says, going back to our earlier conversation, we do have the business concepts in place now, i.e., barbershops, hair salons, and grocery stores, but we can do better. Yes, we can. I somewhat agree with you on that, but we've got to diversify because there's a lot of barbershops, there's a lot of hair salons.
But
So,
even is there like a black barbershop owners association?
good
Like
question. Good
something like
question.
that where they're actually collaborating and working together. I don't know if that exists.
Good point. Frequent event promotions also says, "Hey there, Anick. Thanks for supporting our business when you did." All right, all right. So she's all. Minnie St. Clair says, "Yes, with Ontario Works being $733 a month, and that is expected to cover all your living expenses and basic needs. Then ODSP just increased to $1,408. That is $599 shelter allowance and $809 basic needs." She then says, Doug Ford refuses to raise them both to meet the high cost of living.
Gotcha.
You can see that Minnie is all in on this. She's going, this is her wheelhouse. She says, Ontario Work shelter costs is $390. And based on you have stable housing, and that is a program that anyone can access. He is here. The food plane is here. Hello, Dr. Vibe. Ryan and guest DS is here. He's a big time chef, food sustainability person based in New York. And by the way, food plane, Ryan's here for the whole show again. We were waiting for you to come by. He also says, hello, Minnie. Minnie St. Clair says, food plane hair. Okay. Here's a good question. He comes in with questions. So he goes, to you, what's one misconception people often have about food insecurity in Canada?
Yes, great question. And the lady that had the comments earlier about housing issues and paying. So one of the misconceptions is that people think that it's only people that are poor, that are living in poverty. Today, you have the term that says the working poor, meaning you have a full-time job, but you still can't eat 3 times a day. Why? Because the high cost of living, the high cost of housing, and if you compound the effect of job insecurity and then income inequality as well, if you put all of that together, you have families that have to make the decision: do I pay my internet? Do I pay my rent? Do I pay my mortgage? Or do I eat? And we know that food is a variable expense, and people choose to, they don't choose, they have to make the decision to pay their house, their cars, just to be able to live. So that's what we see more and more: working poor. You can work, but doesn't mean that you can eat. People have reduced the way they eat just because that is the variable expense today. If you want to keep your house, your car, and your internet, you have to pay those. And then the high cost of living, food has gotten so, the prices. I mean, I bought an apple for $4 the other day. It's just, I was hungry. I bought it, but
Right.
it's ridiculous for $4. So
Right.
all
Where did
of
you
this,
buy an apple for $4? Because I'm not going to be shopping there, but I just want to make sure I don't have to go there. Where did you buy an apple for $4?
it's I don't know if you know I don't want to put them out, but it's Galleria.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah. So it was $4. It's because it's right by my place. It's easy access, but it's not affordable. But because it's easy access, I needed that apple, so I bought it.
Mhm.
Yes, but that to continue on that answer is really that it's not only poor people today. There are people living in their cars today because they can't afford housing. It's an I find that for the Black community, which goes to this, I think it's an invisible crisis. We don't see it until it's there. It's there. The numbers show it. You see um, more people going to events because there's food served, and things like this. Breakfast programs have been overwhelmed. So it's not just people that are poor anymore because of the high cost of life and everything else going on. It affects a lot more people that seem to be having the means but cannot afford food to feed themselves.
Well, and
That's
just
the
like
biggest one.
you said, when you're going check to check, week to week, and then suddenly, like food costs are going up, so rent now or anything else that you're paying for, you have to reduce how much food you're buying, and we push through. Like we can be hungry, but we need somewhere to live, or we need our car, we need certain things. But then when we don't eat right, we don't show up optimal. So we're at
Mhm,
work not at 100%, and
mhm,
that's affecting or running our businesses not at 100%. So you can
mhm,
see that domino effect that happens because food costs are going up. We're buying less of it or not able to eat properly.
mhm. Especially children. They go to school, they're tired, they can't learn well, they can't focus. That affects their health, their education, their development, and their social life. Food is social, eating is social. So when sometimes you have to refuse going to a restaurant with your friends because you can't afford it or
Yes.
things like this, it affects your social life. And then you go into isolation. um, let's not even start about seniors. It's the same thing for them as well. Their health, food is very social for them. So that's why it's an invisible crisis. It's not in our faces, but until you ask and you really get into people's personal lives, then you find out how they're affected. And for me, what touches me is the children. It's not something they created. They should just want to learn and play. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what a child should do. Learn, play, not worry about if they're going to have breakfast or lunch or dinner.
And it's so embarrassing when your friends ask you to come to their birthday party at a restaurant, and you have to be like, "So, are we all paying for ourselves, or are you covering it?" It's like,
Yeah, yeah. It's social. Eating is a
yeah.
social aspect. So I've seen events, several events that I've been to, and there were more people than usual. Not specifically for the event, but because it was free food, people showed up.
Interesting. You
Yeah.
see
People
that?
showed up,
Yeah.
And
and
people
you can't
and
be mad
people
at
carry
that.
that
And
and
you're
people carry that
grateful for the
food
people who
home.
offer it.
Mm.
Yeah. Uh, so Anik, I'm glad at the beginning you said you have a lot of time because the comments are blowing up.
Mm.
So there's lots of stuff going on. So I'm glad you have time, and we're also blessed and honored. We must bow that Sir Knight will be with us for the majority of this conversation today. So just catching up on some comments. Minnie says, "When I had to access a food bank, I experienced food botulism. Then in
Mm,
the emergency room, I get a lecture from the doctor instead of compassion."
mm,
The food plane says, "I love how this conversation is showing us that food security is more than just about access. It's also about dignity and community."
Right.
Minnie St. Clair says, "Ontario Works has not increased since 2018. Really?
Okay.
mm.
And current government won't increase it. More Canadians are accessing social assistance." Hello, the Wallamala says, "Ford is just upset the court denied his plan to remove bike lanes." Oh,
So you take it on everything else.
Uh, Food Plane says, "Oh wow, we get to see Ryan smile all show and his gray beard. By the way,
Yeah.
you can't ask for anything more." He also says, "Shout out to Matt, the producer." Minnie says, "Disability is a factor in misconceptions because people are not understanding we have many invisible chronic disabilities that affects a person's ability to keep a full-time employment and manage."
Mm.
The Wallamala says, "That $4 apple better give me wings."
Yes.
The food plane says, "Hello, Seniors K." Seniors K says, "If there are organizations that deliver, maybe there needs to be more advertisement or a way for people to get access to those services." What are your thoughts on that point?
Absolutely, and this is actually part of the action plan. So the three pillars: distribution, education, and the pipeline. And we want to be able to work with organizations that are already in the field. We want to be able to, because they're at capacity and overwhelm. That's what the common thing that we've heard. And so we want to be able to help them complement their work, to help them scale and be able to have a bigger impact. So food delivery are part of the program that we will be assisting. And this takes infrastructure. It takes delivery trucks. It takes staffing. So one of the things that we heard a lot is not only storage but staffing. So it takes delivery trucks that are compliant to be able to transport food at different temperature, hot, cold, and so on. Some trucks can also have an outfitted kitchen to do the meal prep there. So these are all things that are part of the action plan that we have to be able to help in all these areas, specifically to deliver food as well.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. I'm gonna keep on running through the comments because we like to be engaging. And we notice on a black-owned platform, we're not giving 2 minutes like they do on other major platforms. I'm not gonna say anything else about that. So let's go to this comment. See, frequency event promotion says that Apple would have had to make me fly for free to the East Coast every weekend for $4. That is troublesome. That $4 Apple. Okay. Frequency event promotion has a question. Quick question, Anick. Does your organization do any work directly or indirectly with the African food basket?
100%. Zakaya is actually part of our advisory council, and we are absolutely 100% we're not only are grateful for his expertise and experience, but he because he's in the field, in the ring, he's been in the ring for a long time, he's a veteran. um 100% we are, and I sent him a message yesterday regarding this. We are absolutely will be working with African Food Basket. They bring a lot of experience and know-how. They're on the front lines, and they are one of the organizations that we are partnering with to create the pilot and develop our programs. Absolutely, he's part of the family, the Food Security Fund family.
All right, I got to go back to an earlier conversation. Not comment, sorry. Minnie St. Clair said, imagine giving up prescriptions because you cannot afford it, or giving up food because you need prescriptions.
Yeah.
Right? C Nurse K says, hello, food plane, always a pleasure. See, we got family hanging out with each other in here today. Office of Tim Frey, who's also on the advisory board, says we have food in Canada, but there's roughly 24 billion pounds of food wasted annually, which is a value around 49 billion
Oh boy.
dollars Canadian going down the drain. Okay, so we're going to be on for a while. So before we go any further, a question: what makes your organization different from other food programs or charities out there?
So from food bank, like I said, we are not only in food banks are needed, but they're really at immediate relief and on the front lines, distributing food to people in need right now, at the moment, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What we're building is, yes, the distribution and being on the front lines will be a part of it, but we're building a pipeline. It's not just for right now. Like I said, we want to have a structure, infrastructure, a storage facility that will be able to support the different food related programs in the Black community for Black serving organization. So what we're building right now, it's going to be ongoing forever. It's not just now. It's going to help organization with their pipeline, with their sustainability. So that's what's different. Food banks are really just providing food. I'm not going to say just, because it's not just it. People need food right now. So food banks are at the front lines distributing food. For us, we are going to be helping that side as well, but we want to help the organization be sustainable. So an organization is helping the kids, the seniors, the families, but who's helping them? That's who we are. With the food cause, the Security Fund, we're going to be helping those organizations that are supporting the community in different neighborhoods. So that's how we're different. The different food bank, they do great work, but they don't address also the 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 aspect with the Black children, which we are. That's why we're in this, to help our community that are, it's 50%, well, 46% to be exact. That's almost 50%, and we want to focus on that specifically. So that's kind of makes us a little bit, actually a lot more different, that we're more holistic than just distributing fruit. Again, I don't want to say just, because this is a big part of it, but we're helping the helper at this point, so we're much bigger that way.
Nice.
Love that. And I love that you mentioned kind of the first step was you're seeing the need with storage. Are
Yes.
there any other concerns that would be next that you're hearing from like the food banks or people in this food insecurity space?
So what we've heard consistently, definitely storage. Number two, cultural relevant food,
Ah,
and
I was
number
going to ask
three,
about that.
yeah.
I was going to ask
is
about that.
staffing. Yeah. Number three is what's the word I'm looking for? Certified experienced staffing. We know that people who handle food, like volunteers, they need to have a certain training. So that's what's missing for some of the food programs is the staffing. So these are the three. There's a lot more. Some is specific delivery of the food. Some is the meal prep, but the biggest ones right now are storage, cultural food, and staffing.
Gotcha.
And Nick, just building on that, I'd like to ask, what are some unique barriers Black families face in accessing nourishing and culturally relevant food?
Mhm.
The price, the access. You can't find plantain everywhere. I'll just say this. I have to go to a different grocery store. Um, and it's just we're so used to our staples. This I grew up on my ethnic background is Haitian. I grew up on Haitian food. I need my plantains and my kalaloo and I need this, right? So yes, I'm an adult and I can do other things, but I need that food and so others as well. So definitely the price and the whole the pipeline, where it comes from, how it comes. Do we do bulk orders to reduce the price? So it's about negotiating those vendor deals, those distribution deals that can get uh, better 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 deals, more affordable and more accessible. I think the price is one, and the accessibility to different markets also that is one. So if you're in a neighborhood that has predominantly other ethnic groups, you want to see that food aisle where it usually says ethnic food, and you have those. So sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. And also we talk about food desert. So pardon my French, food desert, where there's not enough grocery stores in certain neighborhoods, or some of the grocery stores. Again, I don't want to name names, but some the quality of the food is not the same from one to the other. I don't buy my fruits and vegetable at certain grocery stores where there's more of them, just because the quality is not the same. So it's looking at this. These are some of the things that are the barriers.
All
Makes sense.
right. Oh, no, I just, producer Matt, if you can you just put up the contact information for the organization up on the screen? I've shared it on all the comment sections on all the platforms, but I do want to also give justice. And in a few minutes, we'll also put up, we'll do a share of the website. We'll do that in a few moments. But if you want to find out more information, there's email addresses there, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. So thank you so much for that. I have a conversation piece in regards to, um, I don't know if you talked about this already, but if you have, sorry for asking again, the four phases of the organization's plan.
Yes, the first phase is the infrastructure, is the foundation, and it's the biggest need. It's a storage facility, and that also includes food trucks, food delivery, because that's something that we could do. It's easier to get, and we can start storing in food trucks that are compliant temperature wise, and also we can prep some food in a truck that is outfitted with a kitchen. So we're looking at trucks and creating a infrastructure like a storage facility. The second step is we've already started, like African Food Basket is one of them, having preliminary conversations with different organizations that have different needs. So for us to create proven models on distribution, education, and the pipeline, we need to work with active programs. So people that are currently active, that we will be working with them active but at capacity and overwhelmed. So these are the organizations that we've identified and we're going to be working with to create a proven model, a proven framework of distribution, education, and the pipeline. And what this allows us to do is we want to understand also what the organizations are going through, and it allows us to be able to build a model that's adaptable and flexible. Because yes, we're working with these organizations, but eventually the plan is to go the nationally. So what we're doing is we are creating a central location, and I want to give you the example of Tim Hortons or McDonald's. We always see the Tim Hortons truck delivering. Well, they're coming from a commissary kitchen where they are preparing the meals and then delivering to that Tim Hortons, that McDonald's, and so on. So
Gotcha.
you have that system for hotels, for big restaurants, for airlines. This is what we are aiming to create for the Black community, specifically to assist the organizations that have Black food programs. So we want to create this hub, which is a storage facility and has kitchen to do some meal prep, and then we'll be able to assist, depending on their needs, the different organizations within the city. Tim Horton has the same commissary kitchen in Montreal, in Vancouver, in Alberta, and so on. But we need to create a proven model. We need to create those relationship vendor deals that are national, all those things. So we want to start by Ontario, specifically Toronto, and we know this is a little bit the epicenter of the food insecurity crisis for the Black community. So step one, the infrastructure. Step two, working with organizations to develop those proven models on the three pillars: distribution, education, and the pipeline. Step three, for me, I really understood what impact measurement is. It's actually everything for a nonprofit and a charity, but you have to set things at the beginning, at the foundational stage. So we are working on community reports where we're gonna survey, inventory a bit the different food programs in the city, the different communities that are mostly affected, and understanding what do they have, what's their pain point, what are the numbers, because we want to be able to identify where do we go next. So we'll with those community reports are really going to give us the data that we need to make an objective decision on where to go next. And then having those community reports allows us to, a year from now, after we finish helping a certain neighborhood and organization or a community hub, now we know we have a baseline. So now it's easier to be able to really measure the impact. Are we doing it? Are we going the right way? Is this actually working? But we need to have a baseline. And that's what the community reports are, is to create a baseline of information, and then it helps us a data-driven decision to know where to go next, and then to be able to provide those numbers based on the baseline. And then the fourth is where everything comes together and we're able to scale this up. Now that we have something that works, we're able to expand and then scale our operation, meaning go to more cities. Montreal could be next. There's also Halifax when you look at the numbers for the Black community in terms of food insecurity challenges. And so we can now replicate this model nationally, and do it in a different way, using again the I keep going back to Tim Horton, but I see that I live by Tim Horton, and the truck is always in my way when I try to leave in the morning. So I see the truck. I see the truck. So
Yes.
it's usually this big truck, but it's coming from somewhere. And so
Yes.
that's and that idea was really developed through the advisory council, because we have individual on the council that in their previous lives were involved in running some of these commissary kitchens, and I've had the experience to build them, and that's one of the things that we think will be having a central location that can help assist different organization is something that the model that we're going for. So these are the four phases.
Wow. Uh, I don't know, Ryan. Do you see how many comments are in?
Like,
It's
this might be the most in
like,
like one span of time, in like
yeah, this
10
is
minutes.
just
Comments that we've
out of bounds. So one of
And
the things
I
for people,
truly do apologize. I
you
actually
have to
do
go.
have to jump at a 10, and I actually need to prep a bit for this. So
Oh, I see. Now you're
I
gonna
love
get
you.
food plane mad.
I know, but I'm still gonna be listening. So
You're gonna get
I'll
food
try and
plane mad. How
comment in.
dare you? How you do it? Okay, no problem. We'll
Yeah,
see you on Monday, and we're gonna keep the food theme because on Monday is gonna be our monthly visit from Carolyn Nicole. So we'll
right.
chat, Ryan. Have a
Oh,
good
and
one.
a quick note, we do have our event on Sunday. So if you are in Ajax or willing to get to Ajax, we're doing the car wash fundraiser for the Durham Community Action Group, which is a food well, they do many things in community, but they do have a food bank in Ajax. So hopefully we'll see you there. But thank you, Anick, for being here.
All right. Take care, Ryan. Have a good one. We're going to do a few things. Producer, can you put up the screen share? As always, we want to get our audience feedback. So especially if you're watching on YouTube, we'd love you to rate the conversation from 1 to 5. 1 saying, 5, it's out of bounds. So if you could do that for our show, we always appreciate that. Also, if we have here, I'll follow up on our YouTube channel, the top people who were commenting today. Top 3 people commenting today on YouTube, on the YouTube channel were Minion Cam, the Wallamala, and Tim Frey. Also want to appreciate C Nurse K, the Food Plane, Frequency Event Promotions, Fitness IQ Cam, Ray McMillan, Derek, JJ Mars, and Nathaniel. So thank you all for making a contribution. So if we can take down the screen share, that would be fantastic. Also, if we could get up, just also before we shut it down today, the contact information of the organization, fantastic. And people are giving, lots of people giving 5s for the conversation today. So fantastic. C Nurse K says, it's truly admirable, Anick, that you are not just talking about food security, but you are taking action. I will donate and would love to volunteer down the road.
I appreciate that. See, we get a win. We get another win.
Another win.
Thank you.
Another win. Another win. Fantastic. Yes. All right. So I'm going to just say to everyone, thank you so much for coming into the conversation live on the replay. It's appreciated and not taken for granted. A few house cleaning things before we sign off today. As always, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Substack. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. You can email me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com, or you can click on the link that you see on the screen, or it's in your comments. Advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I'm a part of. Email me. And always we have contact information. So there's Ryan's contact information, RyanO'NeillKnight.com. That's Knight with a K-N, not an N. LinkedIn, Ryan O'Neill Knight. Instagram, Ryan.NotKnight.Knight99. Email, work with me, RyanO'NeillKnight.com. Also, for me, website, the drvibeshow.com, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show, Instagram at The Dr. Vibe Show, X, drvibeshow, and then email, given that 10 times already today. On Substack, you can catch me at drvibe.substack.com/subscribe. Blue Sky at drvibe.bsky.social, and you can watch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Afro-Caribbean Business Network, and Ryan O'Neill Knight on YouTube. So everyone, tomorrow, primetime Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, Black Canada Talking, 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, and Black Men Can Talk Sunday night at 8 p.m. And then Monday, Carolyn Nicole is back in the house. So as always, I'd like to say, live your life as a dream. Oh, we have one more comment. Don't want to leave it out. C Nurse K, phenomenal job once again, producer Matt. Oh, there we go. All right, so live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Try to do both. And as always, make it better. Thank you again, producer Matt. God bless. Peace well. Keep the faith, walk good. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
This whole thing of using your business with plant-based products, don't you think your life should reflect that too?
Juke him, Carolyn. Juke him. The family loves us here because they're saying Fitness IQ Can says put a wig on to get in.
Oh God. Oh my God.
The ideas are just coming fast and furious here this morning. What? Okay, look at this. Global Women Ambassador. Good morning. Look forward. Okay.